All right.
Yep. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
I
All right. So this is a lockout tagout safety story. It happened on campus here at the VAMC on 3-7 2024. An HTM engineer was working in a uninterruptible power supply, attempting to get the mammography unit back online. The UPS was unplugged and de-energized while they worked on it. However, that UPS was not under the complete lockout tagout control of that employee. As a result, while they were working on it, another employee came by. They re-energized the UPS, plugged it in to look at a different issue, and the engineer that was working in the UPS received a slight shock from the UPS. No e-comp was filed. No treatment was needed. I went and double checked with that employee to make sure they were okay. HTM immediately contacted the safety office, and I responded. I gave a lockout tagout stand down with the team to discuss mitigation on 3-20, and listed possible solutions, including but not limited to plug locks for their equipment, detailed lockout tagout procedures for commonly worked on equipment within that shop, and I'm having them take part in the lockout tagout training that the FMS shops are already a part of. From this incident, we can see that a lockout tagout at the VA should not be limited to FMS shops and should instead be extended to any personnel on site that may be working with the following: capacitors, UPSs, computers, and quite frankly, any electrical work of any nature and caliber that might result in a shock. Um, the Albany VA from this incident demonstrated the following: sensitivity to operations. HTM self-reported a minor shock that did not need treatment. It's much appreciated. Preoccupation with failure. HTM and safety deep dove the incident to see what the failure point was. In this case, it was lack of locks. Uh, Reluctance to simplify. Safety didn't just provide plug locks and walked away. Instead, we added them to the local lockout tagout program. We also demonstrated deference to expertise. HTM brought in the lockout tagout champion for the building, which is me, to discuss mitigation measures. It's a non-clinical story, and if you want to distribute this to other VAs, you may. Does anybody have any questions about this safety story?
No, I can tell you that lockout tagout Albany does an exceptional job, and this is an issue across VA. And constantly you hear about people not doing well with their lockout tagout and the harm that it can cause. I think you really hit the nail on the head when you talk about there may be others that need to understand the lockout tagout. In this instance, it really did allow us to uh, advert any terrible thing that could have occurred. So really, Juan, thank you for this presentation.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Is there anyone else on the call that needs to say anything?
Good morning, this is Glenn. I'd like to just mention a couple of comments received in the last couple of weeks for our emergency department staff. These are comments that came in on surveys other than the ER survey, and they were mentioned by patients with regard to their care at the emergency department. The first one came in on a pharmacy survey, and the person said, I had an auto accident with severe neck pain. The staff in the ER moved me through quickly. I had muscle relaxant and was on my way. Thank you. The second was on a scheduling appointment survey, and the veteran reported that my recent admission to the ER for stroke was completely managed by the VA, and for that, I'm extremely grateful. And the third came in on an outpatient veterans safety survey. The Stratton VA ER is professional, calm, well-organized department that resolved my issues quickly and with kindness. So these are compliments that come in. Veterans are not required to provide a compliment. They do this of their own volition and in response to great care that they received. And these are just highlights just for the emergency room that came in recently.
Really appreciate you sharing that, Glenn. I think many times we hear of, sometimes things that may have occurred that are not, that are one and one. And to hear these comments, I'm sure that the ED will appreciate it. And if the anyone from the ED is on, let's be sure that we can share that at one of your staff meetings. I don't know if Diana is on. Okay, Glenn, let's make sure it gets to the chief, both Diana and the nurse manager.
I'll do that. Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Okay. Anything else going around the room?